someone that obviously makes money with the creativity program, I honestly believe you're an anomaly, and you actually can monetize your content. You're just not presenting it correctly. You need to change the way you present it,
No, I don't have
and
to
then you'll get
change it. At
monetized.
the end of the day, it's my content. If I
Well, I
upload
mean,
it,
if you want to make money off it, you kind of
well, I'm making
objectively
money
have
off of
to.
it. The
It's
the
an
issue isn't whether or
unfortunate
not I'm making
situation,
money off
but
of
you,
it.
you
The
do have
issue
to.
is whether or not someone else is already making money off that content.
Yeah, but you
If
can still make money off that content. It's not like
Yeah,
one clip
I
goes out and then
can,
no one
but
else can make
TikTok's
money off it.
program, do you recognize that TikTok program does scan whether or not the content is original or unoriginal?
Yeah, it
Yes or
definitely
no?
does.
Okay, so
But
why do I
hold on,
have to?
hold on, hold on, hold on. That's not all of it. But it does, definitely does. You're right about that. However, it doesn't mean that just because one segment has been clipped, it can never be clipped again and made money from anyone else. That is not true. The way you present it will allow you to monetize it twice. Even if it's the same clip, even if it's the same moment,
Well, I
you
get
just
that.
have to present it differently. Now, it's an
Okay, so what does that
unfortunate
mean to present it
situation
differently?
that you
So
lie
do I got
in
to edit
because,
it slightly differently?
yep,
Okay, and how would you edit it differently?
add different subtitles, add different different font, add a different color, whatever it is, because when, for example, a viral moment comes out, I'm gonna use when HS, Tiki Toki, and Zerk had a fight. Everyone was talking about that, and that moment was put on TikTok like a trillion different times. And I'm sure that more than one person made money off reposting that.
So you're saying it's on me as the producer, as the financier of this content, that I need to take an extra step to edit it a different way to make sure that I'm getting monetized because Creator Program Beta has identified my content as unoriginal because that content is already uploaded and its original format. So I have to take an extra step to make sure that my content is original, correct?
Yep, yep. Life's not fair, man. That's just how it goes.
So we're not okay. So life's not fair, and we're talking about ethical. Ethical and life's not fair. Those are contradictory, right? Because ethical is about making it as fair as possible. So we're not talking about whether or not life's not fair. We're talking about whether or not it's ethical. And in this case, it's clearly not ethical. And I do have to go out and DMCA these accounts and take them down. And I'm lucky that I have somebody at TikTok that I can share an email thread with just to post those links and they take them down in hours. So I'm lucky enough, but not every content creator is. And I want to give you a chance to kind of make an argument because you did make this argument on Twitter or via DMs. You talk about Mr. Beast, and there is a Mr. Beast clip, and I'm going to attach it to the jumbotron. And people, if you haven't seen this clip, feel free to watch it. I think Mr. Beast does make an interesting point. But I love to hear your stance on this Mr. Beast clip. And if you want to describe the clip a little bit for those who haven't seen it, go for it. But I think that would be a good point to kind of pivot towards the idea of why somebody like Mr. Beast says, hey, clip me, I don't care.
Yeah, so Mr. Beast says it for all the reasons I've pretty much already addressed. The fact that it is free impressions for absolutely no reason. Like, you're not paying anyone. Typically, to get those extra impressions or to have them edits made, you would have to pay. But since TikTok are paying them for you, you don't actually have to pay. You just have to make good content, and then everyone else will do the work for you for free.
Okay. So a few different things there, but let's dial it back to the main thing. You're referencing this clip of Mr. Beast who says, hey, you can go out and clip the content. And anybody who gets upset about it is being an idiot. And I think that's exactly what he kind of said to an extent. I kind of understand where he's getting from. And I'll make the devil's advocate point for a moment. When you're the size of Mr. Beast, or when you're the size of other content creators that may be smaller than him, but still have a sizable audience, let's say like Logan Paul, Aiden Ross, those are people that people instantly recognize, correct? But if we're talking about content that's not easily recognizable,
Like old Sneeko content, right?
well, I mean, Sneeko. I'm
Yeah,
always
but
going
he
to go back
wasn't
to,
he wasn't always recognizable.
but
He
now
was
we
at
see
one
it's
point
more
he
simple.
wasn't recognizable. Yeah, but when I was getting those views and that screenshot I showed that got 100 million views, he wasn't recognizable at the start of that month or the beginning of that period, as seen in the stats.
Actually,
But
can you do me a
because of
favor?
the
Can
clipping,
you
he
go
was.
to his main channel, Social Blade, and his other live streaming stats for periods before that moment. Like, I get we're talking about a second
It's
channel,
shown in
and
the it's shown in the thing.
yeah,
Yeah, well, his main channel he wasn't streaming on. That's why, and it still pumped. It still went up. His subscribers still went up on his main channel.
okay. So this is where I personally feel, and I think many people feel, it becomes unethical. And I'm going to make an argument against Mr. Beast for a moment too. I think when you're at that point of growth, you're at that point of marketability, everybody knows who you are around the world. That's a good thing. Yeah, I would go out there and say, clip my stuff, put it up there, right? That helps. That's a big marketing thing. Now, in my case example, I am working in animated content. Animated content is really expensive. Not saying Mr. Beast isn't expensive, but historically, most creators recognize that animation channels do get harmed by the algorithm. Original content, original ideas do get harmed. You have to chase after trends. But animation content is expensive and time consuming. And when we produce this content, it's our responsibility to make sure that we see an ROI so that we can continue operations and be able to invest into better projects. But I'm not the size of Mr. Beast. I'm not always going to be dealing with a scenario where somebody is trying to promote me, but they're really just trying to make money off of me. I guess in ways that I've dealt with over the past decade, I've had, for example, a Vine account that went on Vine before we did, grew an entire Yamama fan base with our content on Vine. We discovered it. It wasn't monetizable, but we did discover it. We did hire the person that run the Vine account, and we absorbed that Vine account into our operations, and we're able to utilize that metrics and analytics as part of our pitch decks for sponsorships. But that's an ethical way, I think, where you can kind of resolve that. I'm just not really seeing the ethical argument being made because Mr. B says so. He's not my agent. He's not my manager. He's not my attorney. He's not the messiah of content creators, though he is very good at what he does. He doesn't necessarily speak for me or many other people. So when Mr. B says it's okay, and he also has the bias of having a reaction channel, whether or not those reactions are good, those are a different topic of discussion. But he does have those reaction channels. It does make his viewpoint a little biased. He is a larger content creator. His face is always all over his content. His name, his vibe is always all over the content. But that's not the case for every content creator. And personally, we do see this a lot in the animation space where people will recreate accounts based around our entire brand, take our entire content of library of content and re-upload it. And then we have to
Hold on,
kind
they
of
were
fight.
giving you credit though, no? Because
Not
they made the
always.
entire they made the
Not
entire page about your mama, so they were marketing you then. There was definitely made it obvious where the content was coming from.
it worked until it didn't work, right? Because then I have to go in and fight unoriginal content claims from TikTok. And when I get claims being rejected, appeals being rejected on those claims, it hurts me, right? So it doesn't necessarily always work. And I've seen our analytics over the years, and I've timed it up with those TikTok accounts going viral. That has not had a positive impact directly on our content. There's nothing really linking back to our channel or really getting people to go back because they literally re-uploaded our entire channel and different parts onto this TikTok. So why would I go to a YouTube channel to watch the content when I got an entire TikTok account in front of me with my library of content?
Did you ever think about the possibility that you're an anomaly? And that's absolutely not typical for like
Well, I mean, we don't
most,
know
if
what the
not every other
anomaly is.
YouTuber. Well,
I
I think it's
personally,
pretty evident that you are the anomaly since there's so many
no, it's
other
not
cases
quite
that
evident
suggest
because
otherwise.
we don't have the survey of 1,000 content creators to really look at the statistical value of that data, right? So we don't know if it's an anomaly or not. You may say it is, but I don't have all your data. And I'm saying it's not based off the data I have across other content creators. But, we both
I
have
think you're
scared
thinking
data.
about this a bit way too like anecdotally. You've taken an anecdotal and applied it to almost everything else. Whereas I'm
Well,
trying to look
I
at it
think
from
the
a bit more of
argument
an
can be
objective
made for both
standpoint.
of
There's
us, correct?
there's way more situations in which my scenario has happened as opposed to yours. Your scenario is way more anecdotal, way more of an anomaly, and as a result, has skewed your perception on clipping and ethical and the ethics behind clipping. Whereas where I work on this side of the internet and with these entertainment creators uh, or like personalities, let's say, it's like way more evident since there's like a million more examples I could give of clipping beginning or them going viral on TikTok from other
I love
people
to see
making
a
a profit off
screenshot
of their
of those
clips.
examples. I love to see something be
Fulcrum is
priced
an
again.
example. Queso is an
Do you
example.
have the analytical data that you can readily
I
provide for
don't
us?
because I don't run them pages,
Okay, so
unfortunately.
let's talk about the ones that you
However,
do
there's
run. We're
like
not talking about the ones that you don't run.
well, whenever I bring up Sneako, you don't want to hear it. Sneako is a
That's
perfect
one
example
example.
of
I'm just
someone.
asking for another example that you do. I mean, if this is your business, you make $100,000 a month on one business, you make $100,000 a month on another business, and we can dive in that later. I want to see these other examples that you have readily available to you that's generating this revenue for you so that I can understand how the mutual benefit is coming from what you believe is ethical clipping. Sneako's a great example. Let's see another one. I love to see another one.